Guess who's back in the United States of America, specifically Florida, and pretty much unable to film, largely because of the fact that there are people on all sides. So over here, when there's this wall, there are people on that other side of the wall who can pretty much hear everything that I said. Then there's my roommate, whose bedroom, like my bedroom, is literally right against that wall over there. There's a corridor on the other side, and two of my other roommates live on that side by the kitchen. And every single time someone goes to the restroom, which is over there, I can pretty much hear it. It makes a very audible noise on the camera. And whenever I say something, they can hear it over there in the restroom. So, as someone who takes out his headphones in public every 5 minutes to make sure that no one can hear my music, recording in such an environment is frustrating, particularly because this is something that I've been doing for a very, very long time. And the fact that I'm still doing this as a sort of secondary thing is not something that's, good. I still think that the benefits of video journaling outweigh the disadvantages, which is that it's difficult to film. But I do believe if you try hard enough, you can find a place to do it. Nevertheless, I do think there's many more important points to address with content like this. And when I've made videos in the past, I brought up important points, specifically the couple of videos that I made on my walks in Poland, which were semi the intention of this channel, to just film videos on walks and talking about different things and showing people different stuff. Those videos seem to have struck a chord with a few people, as the channel has gained a little bit of traction with its first few subscribers. So I'm looking forward to the fact that people will be actually sharing this content now. Obviously, video journals are something that's highly personal, and the fact that I'm posting them on the internet publicly mean that there are some things that I have to keep out of them. But I don't think there's any other way to do it than to post it on the internet publicly, specifically when I'm trying to start a movement or trying to propagate my movement and trying to give, opinions and worldviews. They're not very common. So I've been thinking more about where I want to branch out with this type of content. And, it leads to a very confusing situation because, how do I phrase this? See, this is the problem with low dopamine content where there isn't flashy images, where there isn't, flashy text the way I usually would if I was posting a video elsewhere, like on TikTok or say on one of my other YouTube channels, or even on subsidiary platforms like Rumble. There's reasons why you can't edit it down to be super flashy and quick, because a lot of the audience is just there for it to be not truly informational, but for them to feel like they're having a dialogue with a person. And I feel like when I'm making videos that are more video journal types and they're not really advice types, or I'm not reacting to anything, it's not, a direct travel video, I'm not trying to show something. It's very important then for it to be unedited, because there's such a congestion of videos that are made and published every single second that are highly edited. And most of the time those videos are highly edited in vain, because most people would just watch them if they weren't edited, because then it feels way more authentic. When everything gets too good, something that's pretty mediocre can actually stand out. And that's the weirdest effect ever. And as you age, you find that a lot of media just interconnects in a very strange way, where, bad media can rise to the top because people stop looking for quality. They start looking for relatability, which is why a lot of modern day music is considered by some people to be bad. People look for what they find relatable, something that they can use to brand themselves, because everyone is pretty narcissistic in their own sense. They mostly think about themselves. And again, this comes down to the levels, the 9, I believe, levels of consciousness theory, which is a concept in psychology, which I'm not going to go over right now. But it's highly interesting, so I suggest everyone looks into it. There's 9 different steps from self-centeredness to pure objectivity, and people will climb up the ladder as they age, hopefully, and at some point they stop, and that's the way they think for the rest of their lives. And it seems to be pretty biologically accurate and medically founded. But people mostly think about themselves. So when they find music, the most important thing is that music is relatable to themselves. And when they find a yap fest, such as one of mine, it's more important that the yap fest is relatable to them than that it is highly edited and something that they can show off to people and be proud of watching. Because these days, when you have all this like manosphere content, it's not like you can go up to people and say, you know, what you're watching anyways. Most people, if they pulled up the YouTube app on their phone and they had all the different channels that they watch, they would not show the recommended feed to someone. And I've heard on TikTok that there was this thing where women were telling other women to, you know, get men to show their YouTube app to see their recommended videos because it was like a red flag or a green flag. Yeah, no, YouTube promotes controversial content. Every other platform, TikTok included, does the same. It's an algorithm that feeds off of itself, and it works in a very complicated way with different systems intertwining that benefits content that's more relatable than it is of quality, which is why I've always said quantity is 60% of the equation, quality is 40%. And the more I age, and the fact that I've been saying this for 2 years, and ever since then I've been able to actually make a living off of running multiple YouTube channels, most of them automated, which has sort of been my secret. Yeah, no, I absolutely believe it. Quality plays a large role. Like 40% of is the difference between a D and an A+, D minus and an A+, if we're going on a traditional like American high school grading scale, or any grading scale for that matter, that seems to be of any validity. But quantity is the most important factor. Like, if you make something that is infrequent, but it's really, really good, you're gonna have a very, very, very hard time succeeding, especially in terms of media creation. And I've noticed this not only with social media like YouTube, this process of stacking. I've noticed it in everything, like books, tweets, like the amount of work that someone puts into their job, whether they're like a lumberjack or whether they're a doctor, like a practicing medicine doctor. It all like leads down to this. So YouTube channels that post like really high quality videos every so often, the only one that I can name that is still relevant that I'm aware of is Oversimplified. Majority of, you know, creators have been pumping out videos at the fastest speed possible for years now. That seems to be for formula. And I think it's like that in all manners of life. Business, personal relationships. You need quantity. Not above everything, but it's the primary driving force. So quantity is overwhelmingly important, and it is a problem when you don't have spaces to record and when you're surrounded by people and you can't do this video journaling thing daily. But I'm trying my best. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you had some insights from this video. Please remember to like the video, because what I recently figured out is that content is recommended here, and I'm trying to hack the algorithm, so I'm trying to make it work. Content is recommended here based on how many people per 100 viewers that get to a certain point in the video like the video. So if you've enjoyed the video, like it right now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.